Welcome back to another episode of Ask the Skinny Guy Savior. I'm Vince Del Monte, and our mission is to help 1 million skinny guys by the year 2020. That's why I do this show. I'm extremely passionate about helping skinny guys transform their body. Yes, we throw in some fat loss questions into the mix as well, and we're gonna get all the questions pulled off my Facebook fan page here and get right to it. This is how it goes. 5 questions I answered in 60 seconds or less. No nonsense, straight to the point, and let's get rolling. So the first question goes to Tim. Tim wants to know, how much cardio do you do in order to lower your fat? And if so, when is the best time for cardio? So here's the deal. We gotta work backwards. The goal is to lose at least 1% of your body weight, so your body fat, per week. So my goal is to do this through weight training and through nutrition by managing my calories. If I don't need to do any cardio, I'm not gonna do cardio, right? I'm hitting my goal every week, so why do cardio? Cardio is a very catabolic activity, so if you're looking to maximize your muscularity, meaning you wanna look hard and muscular at the end of your transformation, you wanna minimize the cardio. So for most people, this is realistic to do until they get down to 10% fat. And then once you get down to 10% fat, it's hard to, you can only drop your calories so low and you can only do so many supersets. So this is where interval cardio would come into play. And I would recommend 3 times a week maximum to start and see what happens. For most guys, 3 times a week is like a lot and it's perfect. 20-minute interval sessions, but make them count. As far as, oh, you had one more question. The best time is when you can. Next question goes to Andy Ness. Andy Ness wants to know, what's the lowest rep range you ever utilized with the ultimate goal being hypertrophy? This is a great question. Now you have to realize there's overlap in training effects at all the training, the rep ranges, but there's always a dominant training effect. So for example, the dominant training effect when working with 1 to 6 rep max, it's relative strength. When you're doing 6 to 8 rep max, it's gonna be functional hypertrophy. 8 to 12 reps, hypertrophy. 13 reps and up, it's gonna be strength endurance. So you're never ever just focusing on one training effect, there's always an overlap. And when you're doing 1 to 6 rep max, you're gonna help improve the neural function of your body, the efficiency your body has at recruiting your muscle fibers to do more density, more volume with 6 to 8 and 8 to 12. And that in turn is gonna help to lead more muscle growth. So you have to look at this from a bird's eye view. You've got to use more of a satellite. You have to look at this from a satellite lens, not a zoom lens. It's the big picture that impacts your hypertrophy results. Next question goes to Cody. Cody wants to know, when cutting, how much carbs should we consume each day? This is a great question. This number is going to change. Keep that in mind. As you get leaner, we're going to drop this number, but at the start, we want to keep this number higher. So here's how I do it. With my clients, I start most clients off with about body weight times 14 as their daily caloric intake. For active individuals, it'll be slightly higher. And for guys who have faster metabolisms, we start there and see what happens. And we'll allocate 40% of your daily intake to carbohydrates. For most guys, we never have to go lower than 20%. So it usually ends up being somewhere between, it's usually like a 3-phase process. So it's like 40% for a few weeks, and then 30% for a few weeks, and then 20% for a few weeks. But those decisions are based on what's actually happening. So that's, we make outcome-based decisions. That's how you actually get to an end outcome. So that's what I would do in terms of carbohydrates. Next question goes to Jordan. He wants to know, is there any negative effects from eating carbs before bedtime? Okay, it depends who you are. So for somebody who works out in the evening time when insulin sensitivity is the highest and he wants to accelerate recovery, promote protein synthesis, no, there's no negative effect. Have your carbs, even if it's 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, don't revolve your carbs around the time of the day, the time on the clock. Revolve them around when your body needs them. You need to earn your carbohydrates. So for that case, no negative effect. For a skinny guy who's trying to grow, now first off, he should have a meal plan that has his calories dictated and his macros all divvied up, and in some instances there will be carbs in that last meal of the day to hit your total daily allowance. Just make sure they're low glycemic carbs and it's combined with some proteins and fats to slow the absorption digestion. Just don't be an idiot and have a box of pizza right before you go to bed. I mean, you're gonna get fat if you do that. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay, last question goes to Edgar. He asks, is it good to add berries to the meat and nuts breakfast? And if yes, how much for someone who weighs 185 pounds? Edgar, man, you're killing me. What are your macros? If it fits into your macros, you're fine. Can you allocate berries into your daily carb requirements? If so, that's fine. So berries are an acceptable form of carbohydrates. Don't go crazy on the fruit, especially if you want to build muscle. I would stick to more low glycemic, more complex kind of carbohydrates, but yes, that is fine. All right, so that's another episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you want your question answered, go to vincedelmontefanpage.com, post your question when I call for it. And the only thing I ask for you to do as a small favor for me is to like my fan page, tell your friends about me, share this video, subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. You know how this works. And we will see you next time.